Welcome to The Explainer. So, what if I told you that one of the most powerful tools for protecting your brain's future was something you're already doing every single night? Today, we're going to dive into the critical and really surprising link between the quality of your sleep and the long-term health of your brain. All right, to get why this is so important, we have to start with a pretty stark number. Get this. Research shows that by the time we're 79, a staggering 30 to 40% of people have the physical signs of Alzheimer's disease in their brains. And this is often without any outward symptoms at all. What that tells us is that the disease process can start silently, decades before memory loss even becomes a problem, which actually gives us this crucial window to take action. And at the very heart of this process is the buildup of this toxic protein called amyloid beta. Now, these proteins, they clump together and form these sticky plaques that just gum up the works and disrupt how our brain cells function. Just think of it like sludge slowly accumulating in the engine of your brain. But this slow, silent progression, it actually presents a huge opportunity. It really forces us to ask, what can we do about it? Are there things we can actually control that can help defend our brains against this kind of decline? For years, this has been the big debate in sleep science. That classic chicken or egg problem. Does a brain that's already in decline cause poor sleep? Or does poor sleep actively damage the brain and actually speed up that decline? Well, new evidence is starting to point in one very, very clear direction. So let's build the case against bad sleep. We're going to walk through three crucial pieces of evidence that strongly suggest poor sleep isn't just a symptom, it's a major player in the health of our aging brains. Okay, first up, let's look at the link between how much you sleep and how well your brain performs. We're not just talking about feeling tired the next day. We're talking about how sharp your brain stays over years, even decades. A study of older adults found a really clear connection here. The folks who consistently slept less than 6 hours a night, they showed a significantly faster decline in things like attention and how quickly they could process information. You can see it right there. The rate of decline for these short sleepers was just dramatically steeper compared to those getting a solid 6 to 8 hours. So, okay, less sleep seems to equal a slower brain. But does it also lead to more of that physical sludge we talked about? Well, this second piece of evidence connects sleep efficiency. That's how well you sleep, not just how long, to the actual buildup of those amyloid beta plaques. And this number is just, wow. Cognitively healthy older adults with really poor sleep efficiency. We're talking people who spent a lot of time in bed just lying awake. They accumulated about 57% more of those toxic amyloid plaques in their brains over just a 6-year period. That's a direct physical link between inefficient rest and the actual markers of disease. So how in the world does this happen? Well, scientists believe it's largely thanks to this incredible system. Your brain has this remarkable waste clearance process called the glymphatic system. It's literally like a nightly cleaning crew that flushes out all the metabolic junk, including that nasty amyloid beta. And here's the kicker. This system is most active during deep, slow-wave sleep. All right, the final piece of the puzzle. This one connects a really common sleep disorder, obstructive sleep apnea, to another dangerous process in the brain, inflammation. Research found that a high risk of sleep apnea was directly linked to higher levels of a substance called GFAP. Now, you can think of GFAP as a flashing red warning light for brain inflammation. And that's an early step in the whole Alzheimer's disease process. Basically, it's like sleep apnea is putting the brain into a constant state of chronic stress. Okay, so the evidence is pretty compelling, right? Poor sleep seems to be a real contributor to the problem, which leads us to the most important question of all. If we can fix our sleep, can we actually protect our brains? To answer that, researchers turn to the absolute gold standard for treating insomnia, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBIT. Now, this isn't about popping sleeping pills. It's a structured program that literally retrains your brain and your body for better sleep. The whole goal of CBTI is to reset your relationship with sleep. It uses a few core strategies, like temporarily restricting your time in bed to make your sleep more solid and efficient, retraining your brain to associate your bed only with sleep, and learning how to challenge all those anxious thoughts that can keep you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. And did it work? Oh yeah, the results were clear and measurable. After the program, participants didn't just sleep longer, they also slept so much better. Their sleep efficiency, that's the percentage of time in bed they were actually asleep, jumped from about 68% all the way up to almost 76%. That's a huge improvement. But here it is. This is the most incredible finding of the entire thing. The brain benefits of better sleep, they weren't spread out evenly. They were most powerful in the people who were already at the highest risk, the ones who already had a ton of those amyloid beta plaques in their brains. Let that sink in for a second. For the very same people already on a path toward Alzheimer's, simply improving their sleep acted like a protective shield. It helped preserve critical brain functions like planning and decision-making. This wasn't just about feeling more rested. This was about actively defending the brain against decline. And this is where all of this research becomes so incredibly practical and empowering for every single one of us. So, what's the big takeaway for you? The single most important thing is to completely reframe how you think about sleep. It is not passive downtime. It is active brain maintenance. And because poor sleep is a modifiable risk factor, it's one of the most powerful levers you can pull to invest in your long-term cognitive health, especially if you're already concerned about your risk. So that leaves us with a final, really empowering thought. We're always searching for these complex solutions to big health problems. But this research suggests that one of the most powerful ways to protect your brain's future might just start tonight with something as simple and as profound as a good night's sleep.